Welcome to the broadcast and live stream of Moonshot Radio. Moonshot Radio is generously sponsored by the PNC Grow Up Great program. And here's your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, who is transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. With me today in the studio is Natalie Eno. Natalie is the Family Resource Specialist from Treasure Coast Early Steps Program. Natalie, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you here to talk about a very important topic, Natalie, early intervention. But first, I want to hear a little bit about you and your position at Early Steps.
Sure. Early Steps is the statewide early intervention program, and what they do is they help children from birth to 3 that are born with any type of developmental disabilities or children who have delays. So my part of the program is that I am the Family Resource Specialist. So what the state requires is they do require that there is a parent on staff who has walked the journey. So my part is just that. I have a child with special needs, and I am able to help other parents navigate the system and make sure that they have a successful first years in their journey to raising their child.
Natalie, and that's so important, you going through this experience yourself to be able to connect to families on a really personal level, because you've walked that and you've lived that yourself.
Yes, and I enjoy really the parent-to-parent support. I still learn from other families too. So it is a reciprocal relationship that we build up.
Natalie, and help us understand the difference between Early Steps and Easter Seals, and how many Early Steps organizations we have across the state.
Sure. Across the state of Florida, there are 15 Early Step offices. And within those offices, each of those Early Steps are held by a different contract, meaning that the contracts are distributed by hospitals, will oversee some of them. Some of the universities have the contract. So they just make sure that from the state level that we are all meeting the same guidelines. It's just that Easter Seals holds our contract. And so here in Indian River County, the Treasure Coast Early Steps handles 5 counties. So we are in Indian County, Okeechobee, Martin, St. Lucie, and Palm Beach County.
And that's very important for our viewers and our listeners here in Indian River County. Your office directly serves the families in this area, correct?
Yes, we are the Treasure Coast program.
So let's talk a little bit about early intervention. And as we talk, I know we have your website, and we'll bring that up during our conversation so that people can also refer to it. But help us understand, what is early intervention and identification, and why is this so important?
Well, you know that they are doing many, many studies on the brain. Still, it continues to be done. And we know that the brain has a lot of neuroplasticity, but evidence points that from birth to 5, that's the most crucial part of brain development. And so with our early intervention program, through the Individual Disability Education Act, we have the early intervention services that help the children that need the extra help and support. And it is a free of charge program to all of our families. There's no income eligibility.
Well, that's very important to know that they can benefit from the service, and it's free of charge.
Yes.
Natalie, you said something that's very important, and I was actually perusing your website earlier today. You talked about those first 5 years of life. There's actually a wonderful video that I would recommend our viewers and our listeners to see on your website. But it does talk about those first 5 years of life, and it talks about 5 developmental areas that are really very important. And not all parents are necessarily aware of this, of the importance of play or relationships or communication, correct?
Yes. In fact, the state right now, we are on a big initiative to help with social emotional learning. So we know the importance. That is skills, turn taking, how to build a relationship. That's something that's going to last a lifetime. So they are looking at finding more strategies to help families in that. But we test all areas of development. We will test the adaptive. That's the way the child is eating. How are they dressing themselves? Their communication. Not only the way they are expressing themselves, but how are they understanding receptively? We check their motor skills, their fine motor skills, how they're grasping, and then also those gross motor skills, those big walking and running and jumping. Also, we test the social emotional. And right now, my brain just left. It's so funny.
But you look at the child as a whole.
Yes, as a whole.
To
as
make
a whole.
sure
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So Natalie, I'm curious, how early is early? Because we talk about early intervention, but mom has a baby and is concerned. How early is early to be assessed or evaluated by your team?
Well, we do count on the pediatricians to help families understand those milestones. And we also encourage, there are great apps like the CDC Milestone app. They have a free app that you can put on your phone. You can put your child's age and you can track, and they will let you know certain times to be concerned. So, for example, with language, if your child does not have 50 words by 2 years old, there may be something to look at. So why not bring them in for an evaluation, and then if it's needed, they will get the therapy they need to get on target.
Those milestones are very important, and we do a lot of work with families here in Indian River County at KRC to make sure that they do understand the developmental milestones. For example, a baby that is not able to hold the bottle or is not able to roll over. We were talking about that before we went on air. Those are things that are very important that not all families can necessarily discern. You were sharing a story about birthdays for 2-year-olds.
Yes, we always usually have a chuckle when we get the 2-year-olds in the office, because normally it's that a parent was at a 2-year-old birthday party and they are noticing all the other children around them. And because they're with a lot of the same peers, they're thinking maybe my child needs help. So it is good that they know that they can come to us and get an evaluation.
So let's talk about that process. I noticed that my baby, for example, is not able to hold the bottle or is not able to roll over. I might have the CDC app, and I noticed that that's something that they should be doing at this point in time. How do I reach out to you, and what is the next step to assess my baby?
Well, the beauty of the program is that as a parent, you can self-refer. So you can call our office and you can make an appointment. Also, we have pediatricians that are referring. We have daycares that are referring. So you would just give us a call. We would set up an appointment. And then you would get a call from a service coordinator. So that's like a case manager. They go through a series of questions. We set up the evaluation, and then you will have a team doing the evaluation. And with the team, I mean, there will always be either a speech therapist, an infant toddler development specialist, a physical therapist, whoever would make the team, so you would have at least a case manager, a therapist, and then the parents would all be on the team.
And Natalie, let's explain to our viewers and our listeners that you really focus on babies up to 3-year-olds, right?
Yes, right.
And then what happens after that once my child hits, that birthday, that 3-year-old birthday?
So at 3 years old, they will be referred to the school district. So the school district, our program is Part C, and then the school district is Part B. So at 3 years old, they will automatically, being an early steps baby, be referred to school. Then the child will be evaluated if the parents would request that. That's usually the course. And then if they qualify, then they would be able to qualify for the next step. So it would be the 3-year-old program with the school.
Natalie, you were sharing something very important earlier with me, and you were talking about identifying how you describe your children, the person rather than a disability or a condition or whatever the case might be. Could you share that a little bit with us and help us understand how we should be describing our talented children?
Well, first of all, as people in general, we want to just be described. You would like to be described as who you are, not your disability. So we like to teach parents to use people first language. So for example, I have a daughter with autism. So instead of saying this is my autistic daughter, no, this is my daughter Erica who has autism. So we are putting our children before the disability. And think about it, any of us can become disabled at any time. We can be in a car accident, we can have a stroke, whatever. But how would you like to be described? So that's how we like to share the people first language and just educate on really being more of a community and inclusive. And
I always like to think about the strengths and the abilities that all children have, because we know that children grow and learn at a different rate. And, your child might need additional support in one area, but they might excel in another because they have this unique artistic talent.
Exactly.
So we need to be able to really celebrate that uniqueness, because that's very important, correct?
I love that. In fact, there's a quote that I like that says, everyone has a gift. Some people just need a little extra support in finding it or opening it up.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true, Natalie. Natalie, we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Thank you.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our two focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our new Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
Everyday activities are great for finding moments for talking and teaching new words. Babies' brains grow 80% in the first 18 months of life. As parents and your baby's first teacher, you can help build their brain with language and literacy skills. Involve the whole family. Ask questions. The more words babies hear, the larger their vocabulary can grow. Support early childhood education by talking, reading, singing, and family engagement. This message has been brought to you by PNC Grow Up Great and the Florida Grade Level Reading Campaign.
Hello, my name is Jason Fikes and I'm from Sunrise Rotary of Vero Beach. We would like to invite everyone out to our third annual Chili Challenge on Saturday, November 2nd from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Riverside Park in Vero Beach. There will be over 30 different chili cookers being judged, 2 live bands, and other food and beverages, including beer, will be available. www.sunriserotaryverobeach.org or call 772-494-6306.
I'm Stuart Pierce, owner and operator of Stupendous Home and Office Cleaning Service. We have 25 years experience serving Indian River County, and our clients have averaged nearly a decade with us. You can always count on Stupendous to get the job done. We are dedicated to providing the highest quality service while being affordable, and remember, we're licensed, bonded, and insured. See our website or call for a free in-home estimate at 772-564-STU. That's 772-564-7839. Or see us at stupendous.cleaning.com. 20% off your initial cleaning.
Are you talking about having your own radio or TV program? Then you should talk to Planet Vero. Here's why we're the best. Your show will be heard on 3 local iHeartMedia stations, plus worldwide on the iHeartMedia network. And you can choose our live stream option, which gives you 6 cameras and professional television studio quality production that's delivered to many social media platforms. Call us for a free, no obligation on-air interview, and we'll show you the power of Planet Vero, radio, and TV. That's 772-778-2832. Follow the powerful Rush Limbaugh Show on Planet Vero Radio. Take advantage of the amazing opportunities on social media like Facebook and YouTube with a live stream broadcast. Call 772-778-2832. It's the future of marketing. It's Planet Vero, and it's brought to you by Idea Garden Advertising. Visit planetvero.com.
We're back to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of KRC. And with me today in the studio is Natalie Eno. Natalie is the Family Resource Specialist for Treasure Coast Early Steps. Welcome back, Natalie.
Hello.
Let's talk a little bit about siblings. We were talking about the importance of celebrating the uniqueness in your child. But if you have other children, that sometimes impacts them as well, right, Natalie?
Exactly. And I was letting you know that because I have a family of 3 girls and my oldest is the individual with special needs, I have noticed that many times those children really need the support also. And so I like to share with families how, because we can be hyper-focused on the child that has all the unique needs, that take time to really celebrate all of our children. And I have noticed that through the years, by giving individual attention to the other children, it has really helped them to be successful also. They naturally are born into normally having a very caring attitude, being very understanding. And so that was just a point I wanted to let you know, that just think of the sibling support also.
Everybody needs support, right?
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
in the family needs support. And along those lines, Natalie, you also work very closely with families and the community at large to make sure that there's a circle of support. How can the community support a family that has a child with special needs?
I think it's really important to really be inclusive and understanding. And so if you do have a play group or a library group, and you see that maybe there are children in there that need extra support, be understanding and also invite all kinds. It takes a village to raise a lot of our children, and the more that they feel included, the better it is for all.
And children also need to interact with different kinds of children.
Exactly.
Children, I think that children are naturally very kind and they're very giving.
Yes.
But you need to be able to expose them to that so that they can see other little friends, and some little friends might need additional support, but that's something that they can sort of learn from and they can help with. If they're not exposed to that,
Yes.
then it can become problematic.
Exactly. And I think of maybe our generation of when we went to school, we didn't see a lot of children with special needs because maybe they had them in a separate classroom and a separate wing. But now they're realizing that the value of having the typical children with our children with unique needs, it's really all around helpful.
It really is. And you were sharing with me earlier about the importance of really observing and seeing children thrive in their natural environment. And I thought that was so important for all of us to be aware of. Why would you want to limit or to exclude a child from what is their natural environment and surrounding?
Especially in the early learning skills. I love the fact that we can go into the home and we can really empower the parent, who is the child's first teacher and spends the most time with them. So they can really use their environment, use their toys, use the family members that live there, and help the child to really grow.
So is this then the ideal setting, Natalie, for you and your staff to go in and help the families in their home, in their natural environment?
Yes, and also we do go into the daycare setting because, as you know, many children spend the majority of their day in daycare now. And so we're able to go in and help with anything that's needed as far as with the teachers or with the other students, and help the individual also.
Oh, well, that's really important. So, Natalie, I want to ask you, there is a poem that you shared with me earlier. It's called Welcome to Holland, I believe. And
yes.
Talk to us a little bit about maybe the gist of the poem and why is that so significant to families who have children with special needs?
Do you think we have a little time?
I think we can read
it?
a little bit of it. Yes, absolutely.
Sure. So it's called Welcome to Holland, and it says, I'm often asked to describe the experience of raising a child with a disability, to try to help people who have not shared that unique experience to understand it, to imagine how it would feel. It's like this. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks, and you have wonderful plans. The Colosseum, the Michelangelo, gondolas, all of it is very exciting. And then, after months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives, you pack your bags and off you go. But several hours later, the plane lands, and the flight attendant says, Welcome to Holland. Holland, you say? What do you mean, Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life, I've dreamed of going there. But there's been a change of a flight plan, and you've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. The important thing is it hasn't been a terrible, horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, or disease. It's just a different place. So you just go and you buy new guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language, and you will meet a whole new group of people that you had never met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced. It's less flashy. But after you've been there, you catch your breath and you look around and you begin to notice that Holland has beautiful windmills. Holland has tulips, and Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy coming and going from Italy, and they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had there. And for the rest of your life, you will say, yes, that's where I was supposed to go. That's where I had planned. And the pain of that will never, ever go away, because the loss of that dream is a very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning the fact that you didn't get to go to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special, very lovely things about Holland. So this is just something that really resonated with me when I had my child, because I had to look to the positive and how are we going to help this individual be the best that she can be. And so it's just a little bit of a switch of perspective, because sometimes life just doesn't go the way we planned, but we have to look for the blessings.
And as parents, we have dreams and expectations for our children, and sometimes that might be a little bit different. But like we were saying earlier, that doesn't mean that we can't celebrate the uniqueness and the gift of having them.
Exactly.
It's perspective, right? Natalie,
Exactly.
You said earlier, it's seeing things differently. So how do you coach parents, Natalie, to come to that? Because it can be tough. It can be very tough to accept that.
Well, I'm a quote person, and one thing I always let them know is that no one rises to low expectations. So put high expectations in front of all your children, and give them good goals, start at an early age, and you will be surprised. Never limit your children.
Yeah, that's very important. Never limit them. Never limit them at home. Never limit them at school.
Opportunities.
There are many opportunities for them to thrive and to be successful.
Yes.
Natalie, if there are parents, grandparents, family members who are listening or watching now who want more information about early identification, how can they get in touch with you? How can they screen their child?
Sure, they can give us a call at 772-380-9972.
And we've been bringing up the website as well. And if folks have any information, they can also contact us through KRC. We'll make sure that we refer them to you. I want to thank you, Natalie, so much for coming today and having this very important conversation about early identification and intervention. And I want to say that you're going to be in Indian River County on October 24th.
Yes.
There's a lunch and learn from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. at Northern Trust with Brooke Flood, who's also from the district. So hopefully we'll see some folks there.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Natalie. And until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.